This moment is not accidental. Before you clicked on this video, before your eyes landed on these words, before you even felt the need to pause and stay here, something had already begun shifting in your life. You may think you arrived here out of curiosity. Maybe it felt random. Maybe it felt like just another video in your feed. But something deeper is happening, and a part of you already knows that. Because something inside you told you to stop. Something inside you told you to listen. And that feeling is not coincidence. It is alignment. Right now your life is standing at a turning point. Not tomorrow, not next week, not someday in the future. Right now. There are moments in life when everything looks the same on the outside, but everything has already started changing on the inside. This is one of those moments. You have been feeling it lately, haven't you? That strange restlessness, that quiet pressure you cannot explain, that sense that something is shifting even though you cannot see it yet. That feeling is not confusion. It is not anxiety. It is transition. You are not lost. You are being moved. There are things you have been carrying silently. Things you have not told anyone, not your friends, not your family, not even the people closest to you. There were moments when you smiled on the outside but felt exhausted on the inside. Moments when you chose silence because explaining your pain felt heavier than carrying it alone. There were thoughts you never said out loud, and you believed those moments went unnoticed, but they did not. Every silent tear, every quiet breakdown, every time you said you were fine when you were not, it was all seen. Nothing about your struggle has been invisible. Sometimes the greatest changes in your life begin in silence. Not with noise, not with announcements, but quietly deep within you. That is why things no longer feel the same. Things that once distracted you no longer work. Old habits feel empty. Certain people and situations no longer feel right. You are not imagining it, you are evolving. There were moments recently when something inside you broke, not publicly but privately. Moments when you questioned how much longer you could keep going. Moments when you wondered if anything was actually changing. Moments when you asked yourself if you were being ignored, and maybe even moments when you questioned if any of it mattered at all. The truth is, it does matter more than you realize. What felt like delay was preparation. What felt like silence was positioning. You were not being ignored, you were being built. If everything had happened when you wanted it to, you would not have been ready for it. Growth requires pressure. Strength requires waiting. Clarity often comes after confusion, and you have been going through all of it. Something is aligning for you right now. Opportunities you cannot yet see, doors you do not even know exist, people you have not met yet, they are already being arranged. Even if you cannot see it, things are moving behind the scenes. That is why your spirit feels different. That is why you cannot settle into your old life anymore. That is why you feel like something is about to happen, because your next chapter is already being prepared. But you need to understand something important. When change comes, it rarely looks the way you expected. The door you have been waiting on might not open because a better one is being prepared somewhere else. The answer you have been asking for might not come the way you imagined. The people you thought would stay might leave, not to hurt you, but to make space for the ones who truly belong in your life. That is not loss, that is alignment. Right now, you are standing between who you were and who you are becoming. And that space feels uncomfortable, it feels unclear, it feels heavy. But it is necessary, because you cannot carry your old self into your next level. Something has to change, and that change has already begun inside you. You need to stop doubting what you feel. Stop second-guessing your instincts. Stop calling it confusion when it is actually transformation. You are not falling apart. You are breaking through. Even if you cannot see it yet, even if nothing around you has visibly changed, even if it still feels uncertain, trust that things are moving. Soon you will look back at this moment and realize this was the turning point. The moment everything began to make sense. The moment you stopped doubting and started believing. You were never forgotten. You were never stuck. You were never behind. You were being prepared for something greater than you imagined. Do not walk away from this moment. Lean into it, because your next chapter is closer than you think. And if something inside you feels this even slightly, then you already know you are ready. Because what is coming next in your life will require a version of you that you are only now becoming. Not the version of you from the past, not the version of you that doubted, hesitated, or settled, but the version of you that understands, that sees clearly, that trusts even when there is no visible proof. That version of you is being formed right now, even in the moments you feel unsure, even in the moments you feel tired, even in the moments you feel like nothing is happening. Something is happening. You just cannot measure it yet. There are things being aligned that you cannot force. There are doors being prepared that you cannot open on your own. There are connections being arranged that you cannot control, and this is where trust becomes necessary, because control will not take you where you are meant to go next. Only trust will. You have spent so much time trying to figure everything out, trying to understand every delay, trying to make sense of every closed door, trying to predict what comes next. But not everything is meant to be understood in advance. Some things are meant to be revealed in the moment you step into them. That is why your path has felt uncertain, not because it is wrong, but because it requires faith, and faith does not grow in clarity. Faith grows in uncertainty. You were never meant to have every answer before you move forward. You were meant to move forward and discover the answers along the way. That is where growth happens. That is where transformation happens. And that is where your next level begins. Right now, there are things leaving your life that you may not fully understand. Patterns, habits, people, mindsets. Some of it feels uncomfortable. Some of it feels like loss. But not everything that leaves is meant to hurt you. Some things leave because they can no longer grow with you. Some things leave because they were only meant for a season, and holding on to them would only delay where you are meant to go. You cannot step into something new while holding tightly onto something that has already ended, and that is why letting go has been part of your process. Even when it felt difficult, even when it felt unfair, even when it felt like you were losing more than you were gaining, you were not losing. You were being cleared for what is next, because what is coming cannot fit into the space that your past was occupying, and this is where many people make a mistake. They resist the process. They hold on longer than they should. They try to bring old versions of themselves into new seasons, and because of that, they miss what was meant for them. Do not make that mistake. If something is leaving your life right now, let it leave. If something no longer feels right, trust that feeling. If something feels like it is ending, do not force it to continue, because sometimes endings are not failures. They are instructions. Instructions that it is time to move, time to grow, time to step into something different. You are not meant to stay where you have outgrown. You are meant to move forward, and right now forward may not feel clear, but it is there. Even if you cannot fully see it yet, you do not need to see the entire path. You only need to take the next step, and then the next, and then the next. Clarity does not come all at once. It comes step by step, and each step reveals a little more, until one day you look back and realize the path was always leading you somewhere meaningful, even when it felt confusing, even when it felt slow, even when it felt uncertain. Nothing about your journey has been random. Every delay had a purpose. Every challenge had a reason. Every moment of doubt was shaping something inside you, and now you are starting to feel the result of that shift inside you, that awareness, that sense that you are not the same person you used to be. Because you are not. You have grown. You have changed. You have become stronger in ways that no one else may fully understand. And now your life has to reflect that growth. Your environment has to match who you are becoming. Your opportunities have to match your level. Your relationships have to match your energy. That is why change is happening, not to disrupt you, but to align you, to bring your outer world into agreement with your inner transformation. And sometimes that alignment requires disruption first. It requires things to move. It requires things to shift. It requires things to fall away. Not to harm you, but to position you correctly. You are being positioned, even now, even in ways you cannot see, even in ways you do not yet understand. And soon you will begin to notice it. Small signs at first, unexpected opportunities, new ideas, different perspectives, moments where things begin to make sense, and those moments will grow until what once felt uncertain becomes clear, until what once felt distant becomes real, until what once felt impossible becomes your reality. But you have to stay present, you have to stay aware, you have to stay open. Because what is coming into your life will require your participation. It will require you to step forward when the opportunity appears. It will require you to say yes when fear tells you to hesitate. It will require you to trust yourself in ways you may not be used to. And that is where your growth will be tested. not in waiting, but in receiving. Because many people know how to wait, but not everyone knows how to receive when the time comes. Do not shrink when your moment arrives. Do not doubt when the door opens. Do not question whether you are ready. You are being prepared right now. Everything you have gone through has been preparing you for that moment, and when it comes, you will recognize it. Not because it looks exactly how you imagined, but because something inside you will feel certain, a quiet certainty, a deep knowing that this is it, that this is what you are being led toward. So stay ready, stay grounded, stay open, because your next step is closer than you think, and when it appears, you will not need anyone to convince you. You will already know.